Well, God bless you. God bless you. It's your girl, Benita. Today, we are continuing in our series. This is part 2 of Rejecting Rejection. Let's pray. Father, in the name of Jesus, this is a massive subject, and it is a subject that has affected the lives of so many of your people. And so, God, in the name of Jesus, I just ask you to give me the tongue of the learned that I may know how to speak a word in season. God, pace me so that I will not try to discuss too many issues, and help me, Father, Lord God, to have keen discernment about what needs to be shared. I need you, and I'm depending upon you. In Jesus' name, amen. God bless you. I'm going to go ahead and turn our music off. This is our song, I Belong to You. We're going to sing that at some point. It's a beautiful song. So we'll be talking about that later. So we have been talking about rejecting rejection. Well, before we can actually reject rejection, we have to know a little about it. So what I want you to understand is that this is an opportunity for you to be a student, for you to learn about the spirit of rejection, and for you then to find out what you need to do in order for you to walk in a place of wholeness. I want to let you know that wholeness is available, that you can be at a place in healing, that you have the memory but you don't have the misery, that there's nothing to trigger. There are no emotions that are triggered when someone begins to talk about this situation. But right now, it's okay that there are moments that as we begin to discuss this matter, that you're triggered. A part of that triggering is the enemy trying to get you to not look at or seek out information. He wants you to be so uncomfortable with the feelings that are associated with what happened that you then will not seek deliverance because it's too painful for you to deal with. So I want you to understand that sometimes, even as you're looking and listening to teachings in reference to this, that there is actually a warfare going on. So before you look at a teaching like this, I want you to pause, and I'm going to give you a few minutes for you to pause and ask God to put the whole armor of God on you so that you can stand against the enemy trying to persuade you to not listen to the teaching or to not receive. I want you to do that first. So go ahead and do that. I'll give you a moment to do that. Yes. In your own way, you were just asking God to protect you and to give you the stamina to listen and to hear by the Spirit. Amen. Next, I want you to periodically pause the video and to cleanse. What do I mean? Well, when feelings are triggered, that means that they were there. Those are feelings that were buried there. Those are feelings that have been repressed in your soul, in your emotions specifically. And so they're coming up. And so as they're coming up, okay, just to experience them, sometimes they'll go back down, but they're never empty. They're never cleansed. They're never flushed out. So when you begin to feel that, I want you to stop the video. Okay? And then I want you to say, God, when Sister Benita, in your own words, when Sister Benita was talking about this, it hit something. It hit something. And I could feel what I felt back in the day when this happened to me. And so God, even though I don't know how to get to a place of wholeness at this point, I know I don't have to continue to have those feelings. And thank you for cleansing me or flushing out those feelings from my emotions and restoring my soul to a place of joy and peace. So it's just, you say those things in your own way. The bottom line is you're acknowledging the fact that those feelings don't belong there. You're thanking God for flushing them out and restoring your soul. Okay? Now, you might feel something that's even deeper than just a feeling, a flint of a feeling. You might feel a grieving. Okay, so it may be that you need to grieve in reference to this situation. Maybe you have not dealt with the situation because you haven't known how to deal with the situation. And so if you feel a grieving, a sadness, okay, it's one thing to feel like a kind of an irritation or an uncomfortableness, right? We're going to ask God to flush that. But if you feel a grieving or pain or sadness, it may be an indication that you never allowed that to be processed correctly, right? You may not have gone through the complete grieving cycle. There is a grieving cycle. Okay, and sometimes the reason that we struggle with depression and or anxiety is that we didn't go all the way through the grieving cycle. Okay, we're talking about shock, we're talking about denial, we're talking about anger, we're talking about bargaining, we're talking about acceptance. Okay, so there is a cycle when we start talking about grieving. And so what you may need to do when you feel this is you may need to stop the video again, and it's okay that you do that. I'm just going to hold on one second. I'm going to pull up some information for you specifically so I can make sure that I tell you about those grieving cycles. I do have a teaching on the grieving cycle, okay? But I want you to know, let's look at those real quick, those areas. Okay, so we have stage 1 is shock and denial, where you are feeling, like a violent emotional or mental disturbance, emotional disbelief. Then the next stage of grieving is anger. You're just angry. You're angry in reference to the situation. So you may be feeling this. A part of that is the grief cycle. Bargaining, where you're trying to find a way to make the person or the object lost return, where you may be in that, where you're still trying to make the person behave. You're trying to make someone love you. You're trying to make someone accept you, the individual who you feel that you received the rejection from. Actually, that's a part of grieving. Okay, bargaining. And then you process the emotional separation, which is mourning. You allow a way to release the repressed emotions. And then finally accepting, coming to the resolve and the realization that this thing happened, and now I need to posture myself for a way to be healed. So some of you are in the grieving cycle and you haven't gone all the way through the grieving cycle, and you need to do that. But you need the help of the Holy Spirit. So you need to ask the Holy Spirit, even if it's a pain that you feel while we are fellowshipping together on the video. You stop and you want to cry. Okay, it's okay for you to do that, but you need the Spirit of the Lord to oversee that crying so that you will not move into depression or devastation. So you ask Holy Spirit, oversee any grieving that I may be doing, that I may do, and I thank you to not allow me to get it out, but don't allow me to grieve 1 second longer than you have ordained. Did you know that God has ordained for you to grieve the separation or the hurt that is associated with the rejection? Amen. That there is pain associated and you're supposed to grieve. Some of you are already in therapy, and I'm sure your therapists have already gone over this, but even if they have or have not, you need to understand that a part of getting over what has happened to you and moving on is you have to go through that cycle. Okay, so that's just a little something that I'll share with you. If you want more information, you can reach out to me personally and I can direct you to the videos that can help you with that. Okay, so today we're just going to spend a little time just going over what happens when an individual is subjected to a spirit of rejection. And again, I want you to know that it is a spirit that has invaded the soul of an individual. But it's an individual who has been wounded. You know how I think it's the buzzards or whatever it is. There's certain birds that they can tell or they can sense that an animal has been killed or is dead, and they use those sensors to go to the animal, and then they devour that animal. Well, the enemy comes to devour. And so whenever he senses that there has been a brokenness or a woundedness in your soul, your emotions, your actual infrastructure, your belief system, he comes in to try to take advantage of it. The devil is such a liar. I hate him. And so the spirit of rejection, what it does is, and I want to just kind of take time for this, and we may only go over this part today. I think that's probably what we're going to do. I'm not going to go any further, except to tell you that when there are dimensions of dealing with or having the effects of a spirit of rejection, right? If you are a full-grown person and you have a strong sense of who you are, a strong esteem and sense of worth, and a person who is operating in a spirit of rejection, or a person is trying to victimize you or to cast something on you so that you will have a spirit of rejection, more than likely you won't receive it. You will repel it because your soul is healthy. Okay. So, but if you experience rejection from someone like your parents, right, who were the first individuals in the entire universe that you took the signal for what meant, you learned what love was and what love was not. You learned about who you were not from your parents, okay? If that parent was scarred, then that parent may not have had the capacity to communicate to you or to treat you the way that a parent is supposed to. They may not have been a parent. They may have been a man or a woman who had a baby. And may have had their own baggage. They may have already have been broken. And now they came to you broken, and that's all they had to offer. I need you to hear that. That's all they had to offer. If I have been broken, and that's all that I know, and I lay down and have sex, and I get pregnant, and there is a baby that comes, all I have to offer, unless there's an intervention in that time period where I'm learning a different way, all I have to offer is brokenness and rejection, because that's how my parents did me. It'll make a little bit more sense in a minute. So some of you have experienced a generational furtherance or curse of rejection. Your parents were dysfunctional, and that's what they promoted. Okay? Because the same enemy that made them feel rejected now is using them to make you feel rejected, because they never straightened that out. But some of them don't even know that there is something to be straightened out because it seems normal. All right, so let's just go on a few things here and we're going to close down. So a spirit of rejection victimizes its prey. So if you are a little baby, you come in and here's your soul, it's here, and the enemy, using someone who's supposed to care for you, releases a behavior or words from that individual that wounds your little soul, then the enemy can use that to swoop in like that buzzard to inject or begin to implant a set of thoughts and feelings in that innocent baby. Thoughts and feelings that they're worthless and unwanted. Now, so their little soul has been wounded, right? So that's why sometimes when someone or you feel these feelings, it feels like like someone has taken your legs, have just you don't have any strength in your legs, but I'm talking about it on the inside. It's just like a place of weakness comes and you can't like move from it. Someone just they knock your legs down, and so you're there. So you're feeling that way. It's almost as that you can't just flick it off. Okay, because it was woven into the infrastructure of what you believed, because you were broken when the enemy attacked you. He swooped in and took advantage of that. So a spirit of rejection victimizes its prey by causing them to feel worthless and unwanted. So he plants thoughts of worthlessness and that you are unwanted, okay? And then he gives you a spirit of self-pity, okay? So, and you also can have a fear. So it creates the spirit, the disembodied being, an enemy who took advantage of your brokenness, creates an inner voice that tells the person that they are unworthy, unlovable, and inferior. And then what he will do is he will set people up to experience situations that confirm those negative thoughts. Okay? Because those experiences serve as validation. So now you say, I feel this way and I had this experience, and that proves that what I'm thinking is true. So once a person accepts the lie, and I want to tell you the individuals that I've gotten this information from, once the person accepts the lie that they are flawed, unlovable, and unacceptable, unworthy, and rejected, they will begin to create their own man-made way of defending that, to cover their feelings of rejection. So now they're uncomfortable with their feelings of rejection, but they're there. You don't want anyone to know that you feel rejected, but you are feeling rejected. And so it can move into self-hatred, shame, insecurity, and identity issues that are, of course, at the heart of depression, sometimes at the heart of weight issues, and many forms of physical diseases. Okay? Rejection can cause a person to feel unloved. If they feel unloved, then the next course is to find something to fill that void. So now you're on a quest. I feel unloved. I want to be loved. And God made you to want to be loved, right? And so now you begin to find a way to try to fill that void. So you may pay a lot of attention to your outward appearance. You may begin drinking, recreational drug use, gambling, shopping, or other impulsive behaviors that can be a result of just not feeling loved. You want to feel better about you. Okay, it says here that rejection can drive a person to perfectionism. They become nitpicking and critical of others, and results in self-rejection. So it just kind of goes back. It just keeps going, around and around. It's a circle. Okay, it says here, even if they can't verbalize why they do what they do, they end up sabotaging relationships a lot of times. All right. It says here also that a person with the spirit of rejection is prone to acting out on other things. They are people pleasers sometimes, and they try to compensate for their inner voices that tell them they feel driven to do that. I just gotta silence this voice on the inside of me that's telling me that I'm nothing. What can I do? Can I eat? Can I drink? Can I have sex? I need something to silence this voice. So they're drawn to overcompensate. And so, yes, they're drawn to overcompensate. And so they're all just trying to silence the voice and to be okay. All right. So there's a lot of stuff going on there when we come to the spirit of rejection. And we're going to get ready to close for today. I think that we've had enough. I want you to make sure that you pause and that you cleanse. You may have seen yourself in the description of it, right? But I want to let you know that there's hope. And I want to let you know that the enemy, especially for those whose parents were used to promote the spirit of rejection, I want to let you know that God already knew that that was going to happen to someone. And that is why in the scripture that we have here, that I think is such a beautiful scripture, because to the natural individual, it seems like there's no way that it could possibly happen. But in Isaiah 49:15, it says, can a mother forget the baby at her breast and have no compassion on the child she has born? And that seems that that's absolutely impossible. But for someone who has already experienced rejection themselves, or the spirit of rejection, which can actually can travel in a womb. Okay, we'll talk a little bit more about that tomorrow. But when she decides, no, I don't really know how to love this baby. And so while she's realizing she doesn't know how to love the baby is feeling unloved. While she's knowing she doesn't know how to love the baby. Maybe she wants to love the baby, but she doesn't know how because nobody did that to her. So she's a victim, and she's creating a victim at the same time. All right? It says, yes, God said they may forget because of this spirit, things that they have gone through, the dysfunctions in their lives. He said, but I will not forget. So I want to let you know that your cavity of need, your void, that itself creates a possibility for you for God to feel all of that with his presence. So you get to have a deeper measure of the presence of God in your life. You get to feel God. My goodness. As you begin to come out of this, God's going to feel that cavity that you feel is just, there's no way. It feels like a void. I remember when I felt that way. And I'm here to tell you that he's able. And here you're talking to an individual here whose mother, and I know she didn't mean to, she rejected me while I was in the womb. Okay, you call that utero. It was utero rejection. But I'm here to tell you that God is able to heal you. And you will not have to grieve forever. We're going to stop right there. And I want you to be encouraged. I want you to know that what your parents could not give you, God wants you to be able to go through that grieving cycle and posture yourself so that you can receive from him. Amen. God bless you. Love and kisses to you all.